Hello, welcome to the show. Today we're talking about modern wedding style trends, and we have the perfect guest to talk about this. We have the lovely ladies from the Monroe on 415th, Sarah Morgan and Alexis Spry, and I'll go ahead and read their bio. So Sarah is the owner of the Monroe on 415th, along with her husband Josh. They spent the year dreaming up and building the Monroe with their own hands and absolutely love the business they have built. Sarah has a passion for hosting and an eye for design. Her skills are the perfect combination to run their venue business. And Alexis is the venue manager for the Monroe and has almost 5 years of experience in the wedding industry. With a background in sales and true love for connecting with people, she is the face of the venue. Alexis walks along with each Monroe couple from venue tour to wedding day. So welcome, you guys.
Thank you for having us. We're so excited to be here.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to talk about the modern wedding style trends. I know they kind of changed throughout the years, but we've been seeing some really fun modern wedding inspiration, I guess I would say, just on Instagram and on Pinterest, and of course, just through you guys' venue too and what you guys put forth. So let's start it off. Like, what are some wedding venue trends that you've seen lately in the modern wedding space?
Yeah, so I think a lot of stuff that we see, especially in our space, kind of varies because our venue itself is very modern and clean and open. So we get everything you can imagine in here. I think lately we see a lot more just like simple black and white in here that looks really good. We see a lot more rentals coming in of just extra design pieces, stuff like that. And with the addition of our beautiful chapel that is very classic, and has the black chairs in there, we see a lot of people gravitating towards using that for their ceremony to have more of that classic look versus an outdoor one. So that's been great. We have a lot of year-round weddings now with that addition, and that really brings an upscale look. So with our venue, we're seeing a lot of people veer towards indoor ceremonies versus the outdoor look.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool. And I like what you said, sort of like the black and white aesthetic, the super clean, simple
Mm-hmm.
look. Like, that's timeless and classic. And it is pretty much becoming modern,
Yeah.
which is great. And I love that. And it looks great in a lot of different spaces, no matter what the backdrop is. But I think you're right. Like, a lot of the couples that you guys are attracting just because of your whole design aesthetic of your
Mm-hmm.
gorgeous venue, it's like maybe sometimes those more like simplistic classic couples are gravitating more towards you
Yeah.
guys and what you can
Yeah.
offer. Yeah, that's so awesome. I love that. And it's so fun to just kind of see, I'm sure for you guys too, just like all the different styles that
Yes.
happen in your wedding venue, which is really cool. So I guess what are kind of some of your favorites that you've seen lately? Like any, are there any like really unique things that people have done lately as far as the decor or like you said going with like funky rentals or something that you're like, okay, that was really cool and something that maybe I never envisioned in our space.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like just the architecture of the venue, everything is so clean and modern. We have a lot of like the arches and things like that going throughout both of our spaces. I feel like a lot of weddings have potential to do something super unique and cool. We have seen a lot of increase in dance floors. People want the cool, fun, checkered dance floor, which is actually something that we just added to
Yeah.
our inventory to be able to offer. So that's kind of an exciting new addition. It kind of gives some texture and color to the space, which is nice. We've been seeing big floral installations, especially on our grand staircase, which we love. Those installations are, flowers of colors, shapes, sizes, but also add some good texture to the space. I feel like monochrome weddings are kind of having their moment, which is really nice. We saw several weddings last fall that were like shades of brown throughout bridesmaids' dresses, decor, some fun flower installations. It's been really cool to see our couples, they come and tour the space and it's a true blank canvas, and then to be able to walk alongside them and talk about, we're excited to do these things, and then watch that come to life on wedding day. It's been really cool, and I know we've got some exciting things happening for our upcoming 2025 weddings that we're excited for as well.
For sure. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh my gosh. I love what you said about the monochromatic weddings and even bringing in those pops of tans. I don't know about you, but I'm like obsessed with tan lately. I can't stop buying clothes that are tan. Like I've got some tan going here today. Like I just love it. And I think that really lends for like your aesthetic too, and what you can do in the space. And the monochromatic, like, I know, and you guys can speak to this more as far as like the design of your venue, which we'll get into, but like you guys have this gorgeous like grand staircase as like the focal point of your venue, and like I'm sure people just like take that and run with it. So like you said, doing those gorgeous like monochromatic florals like down the staircase and just like having this big like wow factor moment is really cool. And I feel like especially for your venue, like if you're listening and haven't seen the Monroe, like you definitely need to go to Nashville Bride Guide or the Monroe website and check it out. It just is like calling, I feel like, to couples be like, decorate me and make me unique, like for your own wedding, you know what I mean? So I think it's so cool and really just a gorgeous focal point for weddings, but it also looks gorgeous on its own as well. So
yeah.
I think Sarah and Josh did an amazing job just designing the venue itself. And then as we've kind of added things on throughout the years, every space in the venue is a great photo opportunity. And we know that wedding days are way more than the photos that you take, but it's a gorgeous, backdrop, no matter, outdoor ceremony, indoor ceremony, reception space, gorgeous all the way around. And we really like to see what our couples can come up with on wedding day. You can frequently find our team peeking around the corner to check out these moments.
Yeah. And aside even from the design that you can do on the staircase, just that moment whenever couples use it for their grand entrance to reception is so fun. So even like you said, even if you do nothing with it, it creates such a wow factor just by having that as your grand entrance to reception, and it gets everybody really excited, and it just sets the energy for the night, which I think is really cool.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, it's so gorgeous and so fun. So okay, let's chat a little bit about like fun trends that you're seeing as far as like wedding scheduling goes. Like, do you see people gravitate more towards that traditional like ceremony, then cocktail hour, and then reception and doing the announcements and everything? Or have you maybe seen some people like flipping the schedule on its head or like doing something really fun and unique, like with their entertainment? Like maybe speak to that a little bit.
Go ahead.
I feel like traditional but different is like the theme for brides and couples getting married. They want to keep, the parts of the wedding that mean something special that their mom and dad and their grandparents did, but they also want to put their own twist on it, which is, I think, really cool and unique. I feel like as far as scheduling goes, we're seeing the same kind of, structure of the wedding day. I do feel like our venue space and our property lends itself to maybe like a later start time for that, so you get the good golden hour lighting throughout things. We have seen a lot of our couples do longer cocktail hours so they can join their own cocktail hour. They can attend the wedding that they plan, which is really fun. We've been seeing some cool cocktail hour entertainment, live bands, music. We're planning for some beer donkeys.
What? A beer donkey? What?
So fun things like that are happening. And then we're seeing, I think, an increase in live bands, wedding bands that will come and perform all night versus DJ. We have some fun send-off things planned. We know several of our brides doing the helicopter send-off for 2025. So that's going to be fun to see. Really
and you can do that, like you have space on your property for like a helicopter to land?
We do. Yeah, we have. So the Monroe sits on 95 acres of land, and at least 30 plus acres is just open field. So we have great space for, just open field pictures, but for something crazy like a helicopter to come in for your getaway, which is really cool. I'm excited to see that.
I mean, the sky is the limit, literally.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. I
That
would
is
say on
so
like a
cool.
smaller scale, we've seen even like interactive things for guests at cocktail hour, which I think has been a big thing over the past year and going into 2025. I don't think it's going anywhere, even just like yard games and things like that. One of our couples did a really cool like interactive painting instead of a guest book where all their guests got to do a little bit of a paint stroke on a canvas, which I thought was really cool. So even just some smaller scale items that I think can personalize your day and make it fun for your guests, we're seeing more of that. And I don't think it's going away in 2025.
We're
Yeah,
also
that's
seeing
really cool.
more off-season weddings, I guess what
Mhm.
you might consider off-season, because we have the versatility of indoor, outdoor. We're doing, weddings year round. So
Yeah.
even through winter, we did some really gorgeous winter weddings this past season. So we're excited to kind of keep that energy and momentum for 2025 to 2026.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. And that's so true. Yeah, especially with the addition of the chapel,
Mhm.
which is really cool. So let's go into that. Tell us more about the actual space, like when you guys opened, and then tell us more about the chapel edition.
Yeah, yeah. So we opened the Monroe officially in the fall of 2022, and that was just the main building, with our outdoor ceremony space. And then we had always kind of thought we would want to add on to it in the future. We didn't know what that would look like. Within the first year, we added on to our bridal suite and made it a little bit bigger just to accommodate large bridal parties. And then kind of saw that we need that also for the groom suite, and rain became kind of an issue, not having a really great rain plan for our guests to also have a beautiful space that they could just easily fall back on. And then if it's hot, a place that they could fall back on again to have a ceremony, because we really only had the outdoor option. So we quickly knew we needed to add on some sort of indoor option, and took some time to think about it and just talk about it with the team. And we knew we didn't want it to be just a streamlined chapel or look like just like the venue. We wanted something a little different just for the Middle Tennessee area too, just because there's a lot out there. It's very saturated, so we wanted to stand out a little bit from the market that we're in, but still go with our look of being minimal and open to any design or look that a couple's going for. So ultimately landed on a black exterior, which I think is just so cool. It's not something you see very often. It adds a really cool contrast to the main venue hall, being all white on the exterior and the interior, and then just plays really cool into that modern feel that you can still do anything inside of. So that's kind of the design that went into it. And then we also added on a much larger groom suite attached to the chapel, which has been really, really convenient for our couples. And then kind of the design on the inside, we wanted to keep it feeling a little bit like an older building and not something completely brand new. So we did lime wash walls all through the interior to give it kind of a texture in there and feel a little bit more like a church, that tranquil chapel feel, but still be very modern. So it's very open. We have arch windows in there to kind of tie into our arches that are in the main space. And instead of doing pews, we ended up doing black wooden archback chairs to kind of bring in that modern look as well. But that's kind of the structure of it. I'll let you talk a little bit to what couples enjoy about it, but that's the design that went into it and the reasons we kind of chose those things.
Yeah,
I love that.
as soon as we were able to kind of announce, like, hey, this is our plan for the chapel, all of our currently booked couples were so excited. To have a solid rain plan on wedding day means a lot. Even if you don't have to use it, just to know that it's there is a huge kind of sigh of relief, not only for the couple, but for us as the venue, vendor team. Everyone just gets a little bit more out of that. And then for our couples newly inquiring, they were so excited even before the building was finished, just to go look at it when it was just like sticks in the ground.
Yeah.
And then as the chapel started to get more complete, we could really kind of see the vision come to life. Our inquiries were so excited to come out to the property and be able to walk through it and look at it. And I think it turned out 20 times better than what we dreamed it up to be. But that space has been, I think, really pivotal for us as the Monroe, to be able to say, hey, look at this cool, unique space that we have. It's functional, it's beautiful. You can use it for photos, you can use it for your ceremony, and it's available to all of our bookings at no additional cost.
Yeah.
Which was really cool for our couples to be able to have access to that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's so cool. I feel like you guys were really thoughtful with adding on the chapel and, having the groom suite in there separate
Yeah.
from the bridal suite, and just like really thinking through like the logistics of the day and where everyone would be at what points of the day. And offering that rain plan. I mean, if you saw like in the beginning stages of your, wedding venue journey without the chapel, if that was a point of contention between
Mhm.
choosing you guys versus another venue, is a little bit being a little bit like weary of the rain plan, like
Yeah.
you guys were able to just like combat all of those fears that a couple may have by adding that chapel element too. And so I really think it just like gives you guys a leg up compared to other competition that may be out there, where maybe they don't have a rain
Mhm.
plan option for the ceremony, or you have to do a full flip, and then it's like, where do you go for
Right.
cocktail hour if it's rain, like that sort of thing, or like ordering a tent, canceling a tent, like all
Yes.
those things can be like so stressful on a
Yeah.
wedding day if you're like kind of like dead set on having an outdoor ceremony, like no matter what. But if you're like, oh, it's tornado, sideways, rain, weather, like what do you do then? So yeah, I think that really gives couples a peace of mind, and bravo to you guys for really like thinking that through and adding on something that's so fantastic to your venue, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
yeah, for sure. Okay, so as you guys are getting your inquiries, doing your tours, and getting bookings at the venue, like what types of couples are you seeing kind of like gravitate more towards this modern wedding style that you guys are offering?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with the word modern. A lot of the couples that I meet with, I'll ask them, what's your vision for wedding day? And almost always they are using the word modern, clean, timeless. And I feel like we really fit that bill. I think they're looking to stray away from like the traditional style of venues that Tennessee has a lot of. And so they're looking for something unique, but also they can envision themselves here. And a lot of times when couples get here, they are immediately wowed just by the main hall, and then we go to the chapel. I see a lot of happy tears in the chapel because they really can envision themselves there. And I think the chapel, no pun intended, really does marry the idea of a true church wedding and a traditional venue wedding. You kind of get the best of both worlds there. So when they come and they see it, I think they think to themselves, this is exactly what we were looking for, to be able to pull off that timeless, elegant, clean, modern look.
Mm-hmm. That is true. And you brought up a really good point there about like having a church-like space on your venue property, because I know just living in the Bible Belt and everything, some people do have grown up in the church who are getting married in our area, and it's like that may be like really significant to them to get married in a church, and maybe it's something they grew up always thinking they would do. But I think now with just the advent of all of these amazing modern wedding venues that are dedicated as wedding venues, not seeing like as many church weddings, you're still able to get that church feel when they're on your property, which is really cool, and just kind of making it their own and really having the best of both worlds when it comes to that, which is cool.
Yes. Another thing I think that our couples like is a space that we provide, like actual physical space. There's plenty of room for ceremony, plenty of room for a cocktail hour with our covered patio and courtyard, and then just the reception space alone. I think they don't feel like cramped. They are on a beautiful piece of Tennessee land, and they can kind of see how that would benefit their wedding day and the setup and the logistics and things like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's so good. So tell us a little bit more about the Monroe, like where are you located? What's your venue capacity like? That sort of a thing, just to give people like a better picture of what you guys are offering.
Yeah, so we are located in McMinnville, Tennessee. It's about an hour to an hour and a half outside of Nashville. And it's kind of seems like out in the middle of nowhere because we are on the outside of the town that is here. But it's truly very private and very open. So when you reach the destination, it just feels like a very private event that is just made for you. So we love that for our couples to have that space to go anywhere on the property for photos and all those things and not have to worry about highway noise or neighbors or anything. It's truly just for the venue out here, which is really cool. And then our capacity, we can fit 250 guests in the venue and in the chapel. That is our max capacity. We usually see weddings averaging around 150 to 200 guests. That's a pretty, common number for us, and that fits really well in the space. We have seen some smaller weddings. We've gone down to, I think, like maybe 80 or even 50 guests, and that can look really great here. You can do lots of fun stuff around that, but go all the way up to 250 and still have a really, really good look in here. So that is our capacity. We're on 95 acres of land. We provide tables and chairs and linens with any package that you choose. And then beyond that, we have all sorts of add-ons and different packages that you can add to your wedding day. We have lots of decor and arbors, and like Alexis said, we just added on a dance floor. So lots of really fun options. We have bars and things that you can just add to your day to customize it totally.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. And it's so gorgeous. Anytime I get a wedding submission from you guys, I just like do a little happy dance because I'm like, oh, it's so pretty. And I cannot wait to share this with everybody just on our blog and on our social media and everything. So, it's so gorgeous. And I know you guys do like some events throughout the year too. Do you guys like host some open houses and things like that for people to come out and check out the property while it's all decorated and everything? So, yeah.
Yeah.
We
So
actually
good.
just decided on a date for
Yes,
our
we did.
annual open house. Yeah. We do a big open house every year, typically around the summertime, and we love to meet couples. We love to see our currently booked couples. We have vendors come out. It's normally our favorite day of the year. A lot of work goes into it, but we love to connect with people. So we haven't actually officially announced this yet, so you'll be the first to hear. Our open house is on Sunday, July 27th this year.
Okay. Awesome.
So stay tuned for more details.
Yay. Well, yeah, let us know. We'll promote it on the socials and everything. So,
Thank you. Yeah.
okay. Definitely check that out. Mark your calendars. And that's so fun. Do you guys have any other projects you're working on, or like where can people find out about you online?
Yeah, we are online on Instagram, of course. That's probably the best place to keep up with us. We love to post galleries from weddings, reels, TikToks. You learn a little bit more about our team and who we are. You can check us out on our website, which is www.monroe415.com. You can view all of our available dates there, so you don't have to guess if we have your preferred date open, which is nice. You can also see frequently asked questions, some of our favorite weddings that we posted, lots of cool things to check out on our website there.
Oh my gosh, so good. Thank you guys so much for sharing all about your venue and all about these amazing modern wedding trends. I'm just so excited to see some of the upcoming weddings that you guys are hosting. And yeah, I love looking back at all the photos of how people have dressed up your space in different ways. And so if you're listening, go check it out. So thank you guys so much. This was
Thank
so
you for having
fun.
us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, have a good day. Bye.
You too. Bye.
There you have it, another episode of the Wedding Reporter podcast. To see those gorgeous wedding and engagement photos, head over to NashvilleBrideGuide.com for more behind-the-scenes content. And if you like this episode, I would so appreciate it if you would rate and subscribe the show. See you next time for another great episode.